And then also we are going to share there is actually a link here that you can check it out. It's just all of the Devant's upcoming events. Okay, so a little bit about Devant, and I know that most of you are familiar with Devant. You know what Devant does, but just like a little bit of an overview. So we help students and graduates to get hired in Canada, and we have worked with over 48,000 job seekers from across Canada. We have hosted over 500 events since 2019, and we have collaborated and partnered with 30 plus Canadian employers who have active job opportunity. If you are enrolled in a program, if you're affiliated with a school, with a college or university, you might have a profile, free profile at Devant, and you can use some of the free services that Devant offers. Definitely check out with your career counselor or like a program coordinator. Then they can tell you a little bit more about that. Okay, so let's start. We usually want to start the sessions by asking you, what are your wins this month? What were your challenges? But if you don't want to share that, you can also ask any questions that you might have. Today's session is about answering your questions. And like I said before, can be questions about your job search, can be questions about job search strategies, resume, cover letters, LinkedIn, networking. We are here to answer your questions. I can see people have started typing questions in the chat window.
Yes, we have one question so far. So the participant, they're asking, I would like to know how to apply to work for the government in Ontario.
Okay, that is a really good question. So I know that sometimes the government of Ontario, they might have some requirements. I remember when I was an international student, usually some of the co-ops, let's say when I was applying for the government, that were, let's say, like requiring you to have a permanent resident or Canadian citizenship in order to apply for those jobs. So I would say first to check if you're eligible, just because, like it's a government job, they have a little bit more requirements, and there's like a different criteria. But let's say if you're interested into a government job, I would definitely go first on Job Bank. You can find like a lot of postings in there. Also, they're posting all over LinkedIn and Indeed, but I'll also go like on the website. So let's say it really depends, right? Like where you want to work. There's so many different like areas, and they have like different sectors, if I can like word it that way. So I would definitely just like look City of Toronto if you are like based in Toronto. If you're not, just like look, like at jobs like at the city or the town that you live in. So let's say if you are in Newmarket, I'm just gonna say like look for jobs at town of Newmarket, right? Also, you can look at the school boards. School boards are under the government, so you can look at the school boards. Damaris, can you let me know where you're located? So I think I can give you more examples.
Yeah, I'm located in Toronto.
In Toronto? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you can look at a City of Toronto. You can look at the Toronto District School Board. You can look at the Toronto Catholic School Board. Yeah, you can look like at hospitals, right? Like they're also under the government, like they're, like I think they have like, yeah, they're not like technically like government jobs, but like they're under the same labor code and they follow some of the same requirements. Also, like the big banks, right? Those are like really good jobs where they have like pensions, they have benefits and stuff like that. But definitely I will look at those options and kind of like see if you can get something. I'm not gonna lie, I think like there's like a really big competition for those jobs, and a lot of them they're like applying, they're of opening the roles internally, but also you can check the websites and see if they have like any external jobs. Tiffany, is there anything else that you would like to add?
I would just say when it comes to government jobs, if you know someone who's working there, that can be a really huge help. I also know, again, like depending on what sector within government, they might have info sessions, they might have hiring events. I would really recommend attending those as well. Again, I always hear that it's not easy to get in. It does take, multiple applications, and there's also like a waiting period. So I'll just give you an example. I applied for like a caseworker job with the city in October of last year, and I only had an interview in June. So that's just to kind of show you that's how long it takes for them to get back to you, to even acknowledge you, to have an interview. So it does take months. So it's more of like kind of playing out that long game when it comes to government. So if you can get something entry level, amazing, apply for it because there's always going to be the opportunity for you to move around within the organization as long as you're in there.
Perfect. That is a really actually good example because I just remembered this was 2018. I had a coworker and she applied to the school board. She applied at the school board in July, I think August, she said, and then she got an interview in March of next year. She got the job, but like it took like a very long time. Also, I would recommend look at like Service Ontario, Service Canada, CRA, right? Like Canada Revenue, they all are hiring. And then once you kind of like get, like inside the organization, then you can, like apply for internal jobs. You will have a little bit more, like opportunities. If you have a really good manager, like those are the people that can recommend you and they can help you, like grow. So there are like a lot of options, but it just like takes time. And what I know it's like none of us are like patient. Like I feel like we all want everything to happen right away. And honestly, like sometimes even with myself, and I'm like, I have to remember this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But I feel like we are so tired of just like applying, and like not getting any answer that like you're so like, oh my goodness, when it's going to happen. So I just want to like say this to everybody because I honestly know how challenging it is. And I know how challenging it gets. And Tiffany said like it sometimes like it pretty much like affects your mental health because you apply to so many jobs and you're not getting an answer. I honestly don't even know how like to be okay with that and just like keep going. Like I'm trying different strategies too, like for different things. But I just say like, like we understand you, like we've been like there and we know that it's like a really hard, but just like don't give up, try to do different things, try to like disengage from like applying for like an hour to do something else and go back and do it. It's going to happen. It just takes time.
We have another comment in the chat. So this is a win from someone, and it states, I referred a job to a friend who eventually got the offer. Before that, they had been hunting for all sorts of jobs with no luck.
Well, that's amazing. So you referred a job, so you referred like a friend. No, amazing. No, that's really great. And like that's the power of networking, right? And if you know somebody, that's like a really good thing. And Tamaris, like I also didn't mention, like you can even try on LinkedIn and try to connect with people that work for the government and maybe do like informational interviews instead of like saying them, oh, I'm looking for a job. Here is my resume. Maybe like try to schedule a coffee chat and just say, hey, like I'm interested into, like getting a government job. I just wanted to know like what was your career path? How did you get there? If you can provide any advice over like like Zoom chat, that would be great. So try that and see, like sometimes people might have like different advice, especially because they're in the sector, right? And they might help you. Again, like not everybody will respond and say yes, but you just have to like trying and see like what's going to happen. No worries. Any other questions?
Yep, there's a question in the chat there. So, when putting your resume together, how much information do you include without overdoing it so that it fits the job description, but you're not hiding important information or credentials from the potential employer?
So that is a really good question. So I usually say when you try to like explain your responsibilities, your achievements, your accomplishments, and your current position or your previous positions, right? I would say like 4 to 5 bullet points. I say 7 the max, but honestly, like recruiters just like scan through your resume if they get the physical resume, right? So like they're not going to read like every bullet point. So I say like 4 to 5 bullet points, like it's really nice. So you can kind of like explain what you're doing, right? So also if you have like a lot of experience and you want to present all of that experience, anything that it's like, I would say now it's like 2004, everything from like 2019, I would say put it under like earlier roles. I have a section on my resume. You can just write like earlier roles and then just put the job title, the date, and then the company name, right? So you don't have to explain what you did because it's like really like from like few years ago, they're not very interested about that. A lot of recruiters are interested just in your current role. And especially if you are in your current role for like quite some time, they're only going to ask about that because everything else, it's kind of like irrelevant to them, right? They want to know what you're doing right now, what skills you're, like learning, what you're like, what is the experience that you're getting from your current job. If you are job searching and you're not having a job right now, include your last experience, right? Because like your last experience is your most recent experience. If you feel like there's like a big gap, maybe try to do some volunteer work in like similar sectors, so you can add that on your resume so you will stay current with the sector and like what's going on, right? So I would say your resume should be 2 pages. And then on the first page, include a short summary, then definitely have a skill section. And the skill section, it's an amazing section because probably a lot of you have heard of the applicant tracking system or the ATS, right? And the recruiters like plug keywords that are in the job description, and that's how the ATS like screens the resumes. So the skill section, it's an amazing section. We can just like add keywords. If let's say in the resume, they're asking for like problem solving, communication skills, and let's say accounting skills, right? You can just add that in the skill section. So in that way, you're tricking the ATS to send your resume to the hiring manager. So I would say always have a skill section and always like adjust that skill section according to the job description. But also you don't want to lie. You only want to include skills that you have. I'm going to give you an example. Like I have like a lot of experience in HR, like in anything that HR covers, but like sometimes payroll falls under HR, sometimes falls like under accounting. So I have like an experience of like administering payroll, making sure that the hours are inputted, and then I send everything to the payroll person, and then she processes payroll. So when like there is like in the job description that they need somebody to process payroll, I don't put that I process payroll. I tell them that I have administered payroll, but I never process it. So that's an example. You don't want to lie because there are things that maybe you haven't done, and that's okay. But if you get a call, you can always say to the recruiter or like the hiring manager that you will love to learn that skill and you're open to do it. They really love that. And I can tell you that like they really love that. When they hear, they're like, oh my goodness, you're eager to learn. Like you're open to like gaining new skills. They really love that. So definitely make sure that your skills section contains the skills that you have, and also you can find in the job description, and then also list some accomplishments. So when you explain kind of like in the bullet point section, make sure that you like tell them what you did. Do not say responsible for managing the recruitment and selection. No, just say like, like just say something along the lines, within 3 months, like hired over 50 people, successfully like hired over 50 people. So try to kind of like show them what you're doing. And I always say the resume is your selling tool, and you need to show them that you're the solution, right? So like try to like see it that way. So I hope that this answered your question. I always say not to hide like important credentials. If you have a master degree, if you have like 2, 3 degrees, like include them. That's okay. And if you have a lot of experience, again, like create that like earlier role section so they can see your experience, but you don't have to explain what you did. And if they ask you, you can just explain that over during the interview. But 2 page resume, half a summary, professional summary, half a skill section, half accomplishments, and then list your most recent experiences.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
Perfect. We have another question. I can take this one. So it says freelancing as an electrical engineer. What do clients look for? Please guide. So I know when it comes to the type of work, a lot of the times, like you might want to have like your credentials. I'm not sure if you have like a LinkedIn profile, you want that to be up to date. If you have like any work on your resume that you can, well, I know that you said you're doing freelancing, so you're not looking to, I guess, go and work for another company. So Katerina, do you have anything that you would add in for this actually? I misunderstood.
Freelancing as engineering, what do clients look for? Please guide. Okay, so I know two freelance platforms. One is Fever, the other one is Work. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the name. Workrite? No.
Upwork.
Upwork, thank you. Yes, Upwork. So I would say like start there, create a profile. Usually what they'll look like when they look at the profile, they want to look for like recommendations, right? Or like reference or like reviews. If somebody like if you like if somebody used your services, right? I feel like with the freelance, it's kind of like it's always like it's not steady. You might get a project like right, like and sometimes it might be like very quiet, but it's a lot of hustle. I'm not gonna lie. You need to try like to what like become member of like Facebook groups, like LinkedIn groups, right? Where people are looking for like freelancers, create profiles on Upwork. I think what they're looking for somebody who is professional. They're looking for somebody who is like detail oriented and like they will do the work like on time, right? So those are the skills they're looking, but usually I think they will like most of them like go for people that already have experience, have worked with the other like companies. So when they like read those like reviews, they'll be like, okay, this person like has already done this, so they might like reach out to you. But I would say start from there, create those like profiles, see how it goes. But you will have to do like a lot, like you have to hustle a little bit. I'm sorry, but like I feel with freelance, it's just like you have to go like and put yourself out there, like network, like connect with people, offer your services so you can get like some work, and then like you can ask them for a recommendation so you can build your profiles. And I think once you build that profile and they see that you have done some work, some projects might come, like people might contact you. But I feel like that's what every clients are looking, you to be available, to be professional, to know, to have skills, right? And to know what you're doing so you can complete the project on time.
And also, am I audible
Okay.
to you?
Sorry, can you say that?
Am
Can
I
you repeat that
audible
again?
to you? Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are.
Uh, Hi, I'm the one who posted the question.
Mhm.
And I recently received a client from LinkedIn, though I was not expecting. This is my first freelance job. Uh, and he's from US. I'm studying project management at Algoma after my electrical engineering and my work experience. Um, he's this client from US. He himself is a project manager. Is there anything that I can ask to him for? Like, I'm looking forward to a career growth. Canada is new to me. The industry is new. I'm a newcomer. Do you have any guidance for me?
So this project manager from the States, is he a client or he just said that you can connect with him to ask for help if you need like support?
And he wants me to do a task. So he wants me to do a particular task for him.
Perfect. So that's amazing. So what you need to do is have great customer serving skills, have great communication skills, always, like respond to his emails, complete the task on time. And if he likes your work, he might give you like more tasks. That's how you build those relationships. So that's what they're looking for. Make sure that you like you're responsive like to emails. Make sure that you kind of like understand what he's asking, collaborate with him. Like if you're like easy to communicate, if like you are like available, that's what they want, right? So like if you build that relationship, if they like your work, then they might give you more work or they might recommend you. So like I think you're on the right path. And then when you finish the work, if they're like happy with like what you did, you can even ask them to leave like a review on your like Upwork or like Fiverr profile if you have one. And I recommend to build one. So like that's how you can start like market yourself and your skills.
Okay, thank you. And there is another question.
Mhm.
It's regarding the first part, like the government jobs. Is there firms that hire newcomers, people that are not on PR?
They
Uh,
might.
Yeah, I know sometimes they take into account your work permit expiration, so they do look at that as well. I know for some jobs that I've sent out to my clients, the employer has specifically asked like work permit needs to be available for a certain period of time. SIN number needs to begin with a certain number, like the 5 versus the 9. So depending on your status, those are a few things that they do take into account.
Okay, thank you. And there is one more question. Is there any networking events that's for electrical engineers that you know of, or maybe for female um, people into technical area of work?
I would say for this one, like even just going onto Eventbrite and typing in electrical engineering, you're going to have tons of suggestions that come up for upcoming events. If there's a way for you to sign up for some form of an alert so that when those events become available, you can sign up, I would recommend doing that. Going onto LinkedIn and typing in electrical engineering and clicking on groups, and then joining as many as possible and introducing yourself on there. That's going to be a really huge help to kind of build your network out as well.
And
Okay,
also try
thank you.
meet up like they sometimes they have like different networking
Mhm.
groups, and they meet actually like at place like at the bar or restaurant where you will have an opportunity to network and to meet like people. They might have like an electrical engineering like group.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.
There was a question that was sent to me through a direct message, and I can go ahead and take this one.
Okay.
So it says, "Hello, I'm an international student with 7 years of work experience in IT. I'm searching for part-time jobs in IT, and I would like to get some suggestions for job hunt." So when it comes to IT, that could mean anything. IT is an extremely broad field. So if you're able to let me know or respond back and let me know specifically what type of role within IT, that will be a huge help. So my current role, I work very closely with also software developer. So that's definitely helpful. So I do have a few people on my caseload that are seeking that type of role. So when it comes to seeking, I know you said part-time, everyone is looking for that. And part-time software developer role is definitely ideal. So right away, that tells me you might be dealing with some competition. So there are people who are already employed who will be interested in applying for those jobs. There are people graduating from post-secondary and these boot camps that will also be looking for those types of roles. So then we really have to think, okay, what will set us apart, compared to the other candidates when we put ourselves forward for this opportunity? Um, so that definitely starts with your resume, right? Your resume is like that ticket to get to the interview. So if you are not using the Devant platform, I would highly recommend signing in and playing around to see what is available to you and utilize that to the max. I would also recommend using JobScan, which is is going to help you somewhat bypass the ATS to get to the next stage, which is the interview. So we really want to make sure that even before we think about interviews, that our resume is doing its job. So that's where I would start. Also to network. And I'll give you an example. And this is, the most recent example I have. It's very personal to me. So my brother was looking for HR jobs. So he's almost done school. He's like, okay, well, he wants to get into HR. And it just was not happening for him, right? It's also another one of those competitive fields. And he applied for an unpaid internship, and that's what he's doing right now. So on his first day of the job, which was today, he came back and told me he's now working on job descriptions and soon he's going to be trained on payroll. And this is unpaid experience, but when you now take that to apply for a paid opportunity, again, it does depend on your circumstances, but it's these types of sacrifices and putting your time and effort into your job search that will pay off in the long run. So be consistent, be persistent, aggressively apply for these opportunities. That's really the way to go about it. I do find during the summer months, things do tend to like wind down a little bit. But in September, kids are back to school, people are back on from vacation, we're going to like the third quarter, things start to ramp up quite a bit. So we do have a little bit of a period before December, which is the holidays, before we can, get those interviews and offers in, because that's something else to be mindful of, is that when it's December, everyone is basically signed out mentally. So it's not impossible to secure employment during that time, but sometimes it is a little bit more tricky or difficult. So again, with the previous suggestion, join lots of groups, introduce yourself, put yourself out there. It might be a little uncomfortable at first, but that's kind of how you know that you're growing, right? If you feel, a little too comfortable in your bubble, then that tells me we kind of have to get ourselves out there a little bit. So I really hope that helps a little bit. Is there anything that you wanted to add for that, Katerina?
No, I think you covered pretty much
Okay.
everything.
Perfect. So we have another one, another comment or question here, and it says, can I add hairstyling and a makeover in my skills section?
Hairstyling and makeover my skill section. So I will need a little bit more information, because if you're applying for like a job, like as like a hairstylist, or like if you want to do like you are a makeup artist, or if you want to do both, right? Definitely yes. But like if you're applying for like a business job, let's say in accounting, for project manager, HR, to be honest, I don't think that these skills will be relevant at all. Like it's nice maybe to add on their hobbies, but like a lot of people don't even like pay like attention to that, and like a lot of people don't even put that on their resume. So it really depends like what sector you're applying and like what jobs you're applying. I think there was like another question before that. It says, hi, thank you for the wonderful session. My question is regarding what's the difference between references and recommendations, and which one we should look for. This is a really good question. So references usually are people that can talk a little bit, they know you, and they can talk a little bit about your skills, your experience, how you are like as a team player, how you are like as a worker, right? Usually like when you say references, like these are like your managers, your coworkers, might be like friends, right? Like people that can tell a little bit the employer or the hiring manager about you, right? Like, so that's like a reference. So usually when people put down references, that's what they put down. Like they put down like managers, like supervisors, coworkers, people that they work with, they had like a good relationship, so they can, when they receive a call like from the company that wants to hire you, then they can talk, and they can talk a little bit about your skills and experience, right? Also, like people say like, I will refer you, so let's say if I know you and there's like a job, and I can say, okay, you know what, I have somebody that I would like to refer for this job. So again, this person can vouch for you, can say, hey, I know this person, they have like a really good experience, or like I worked with them like previously, like I want to refer them for this job. So they can send your resume to the hiring manager. Recommendations, something similar, like I think like people use, like maybe I want to recommend somebody or want to like refer somebody. It's kind of like pretty much the same. So like recommendations are like people recommending you, pretty much same thing, right? Like recommending you to an employer, to a hiring manager. Also probably on LinkedIn you will see people leave like recommendations where they will talk a little bit about the experience that they had with you, right? So if we are talking about putting people as references, so you have to list people that you work with, people that like supervise you, okay? And then recommendations is just somebody recommending you for a job or a project. or somebody referring you. So I hope that explained that, but think of recommendations as somebody recommending you for a job, and think of references as people being your reference and vouching for your skills and experience.
Perfect. Thank you. We have one question here from Priya, and it says, "Hello, I'm an international student, studied international business management. My education completes in 1 week. Now I want to search for full-time positions within the import and export industry. What approach should I follow because I don't have any previous experience in this industry?"
Okay, so I would definitely start first with finding companies that are in this industry, right? So you can do a little bit of a research, see if they're like posting any jobs, see what they're looking for, right? Like review job descriptions and try to apply there, right? But then I will try to connect with people on LinkedIn. And like I said before, request coffee chats so you can do some informational interviews, right? So you can talk to them, like how they enter into this sector, like what are some things that they did so you can kind of like follow those steps, right? So that's like another way. Then like try to like find some groups on LinkedIn or like Facebook, see if there's like groups about this, maybe like try to look for like even like job titles first, right? And see what people like saying there, and see if they're helpful, then try to network, right? If you don't have a lot of experience seeing the job description, what they're looking for, a lot of people like hire for entry level jobs and they hire new grads, so you might get like like a chance to get a job in there, and then like see how that goes. Also, like if you see that maybe you have a hard time in import export like industry, maybe find like another like a the job that you're like kind of like looking for. Let's say if you're looking for project manager, for example, in a different industry, gain that experience, and then like later you can try like and apply again. So there are like a lot of options. See if you can see if maybe you can find like a volunteer work, an unpaid co-op or internship. That will be very helpful, so you can add experience to your resume. So there are like a lot of options. It's just like takes some time, like until you find something.
Perfect. So we don't have any other questions at this time. Have you all been getting interviews? Have you been getting pre-screening phone calls? Lots of movement on the applications you've been submitting?
Do you find the job market like actually like what do you think about the job market? Do you find like a lot of jobs have been posted? Do you think it's slow? Like how do you find the job market right now? I'm starting to look for an on-campus part-time jobs, but there are not many listed. Sometimes, yeah, it's like sometimes like you will see like so many jobs on campus. Sometimes like there's not a lot. To be honest, like it's still summer, but I feel like they will start posting like a lot of jobs now for September, especially with the school, like they're off for like a couple of weeks now. So, but like definitely more jobs should like show like like show up on like the internal job board, because I feel like everybody will start in September and they will need more people, because summer it's slow for the colleges and universities. Not everybody has like summer semester. A lot of students are like off for the summer. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit slow. I really enjoyed the summer semesters. It wasn't busy at all. You don't have to wait like for a coffee or like to buy like lunch at the cafeteria. Like there was like, oh, it was amazing.
And I know too, it's like less traffic as well.
Exactly.
Less traffic. I know like the difference from like July, August compared to back to in September again. You have to take into account the extra commute time there.
Yeah, for sure. I think Comfort says no because I haven't applied for any jobs yet since I'm not in Canada for the time being. So I'm assuming no, you're not a hairstylist or makeup artist. But you know what? Like when you arrive to Canada, I think I think you can start applying even like now, right? But I feel like once you come, it would be like different, because then you will have to like search, you will have to network, you will like, kind of like learn more. So definitely take your time, but I would say focus on the skills that you have and they're relevant to the job description. That's my advice, right? Because people are looking for skills like they're listed on the job description, so they know that you have the similar experience and you will do the job without like a lot of supervision, right? So like that's my advice. Like if this is something that is not related to the job description, then I would say do not include them in the resume.
I can go ahead and take the next slide.
Okay.
In the meantime, if anyone wants to add any questions, it's just about the next upcoming free event that Devant is hosting. So there's one taking place next Wednesday, which is the 14th, on financial literacy in Canada. The 21st, it's about building your network. So that one is for school partners. The 28th, immigration Q&A, so 5 rules to follow when you are studying as a international student. And then on the 4th of September, I can't believe we're already looking at September. That one is about employer insights and it's about Ask a Recruiter. So if you just go to the top right corner there, you'll see the link. You will be able to have a look at these events and get registered if you're interested. So I do highly recommend attending. You never know, you might learn something new, hear a different perspective from someone, and it does kind of change and shape the way you do look at the job search process, because everyone has like their own journey and stories that they'll share. So I do find these events to be extremely beneficial.
Perfect. Thanks, Tiffany. Any other questions? We have 16 minutes left. Okay, as somebody says, like Demsky said, thank you for today's session. It was extremely informative and reassuring. Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. Okay, comfort answer. I'm hairstylist and I do makeup as well here in Nigeria. Oh my goodness, amazing. So then yes, definitely that's your resume. Those are your skills. So definitely you should like add those. And to be honest, I would go on Google, because I haven't worked with like a client that's been like in the hair, like sorry, like a hairstylist or like makeup artist. So I would recommend to go like on Google and maybe type like resume template for like hairstylist, like makeup artist in Canada, and see what like they're including in the resume, because I'm assuming there will be like a skills related to like what you do and how you do, right? So definitely like review that. Unfortunately, like I don't have a lot of knowledge like about, you know, like what hairstylists or like makeup artists like include in the resume, but I feel like you might also like build a portfolio where you can show your work, right? So definitely like do some research and try to see like what is the requirements and what is the criteria here in Canada, so you will be prepared and you would be able to present yourself in a best way when you apply for jobs. Okay, arrive late to the session where I can see the recording. Okay, so the session is recorded. So what's going to happen is you will receive it in the next few days or like next week. What our team does is they like review the recording, they edit the session, and then they will post it to send it to your inbox. So you will receive it, but it will take like, I don't know, like a few days or like a week, but you will get this session. Because you're already signed up, they already have your contact information in email, so you will receive the recording soon. No worries. Any other questions? So how is the job search going? Do you get, and like, have you had any interviews? are you connecting with recruiters, right? Like there are a lot of like things that you can do. You can go on Indeed, you can go on LinkedIn. I know that they're the most popular ones, right? But try Job Bank, try, like Monster, try like Glassdoor. There are like a lot of great things on Glassdoor, like reviews and like salary like reviews and stuff like that. So like try like there, like try networking a little bit. I honestly I just want to say again that it takes some time, but if you don't give up, you're going to find something. Some people takes like 3 months, some people take like 6 months, sometimes even 9 months. You just have to keep applying. Do not let the rejection emails discourage you. I'm telling you, like you will find a job. Like I'm 100% sure that you will find the job. It's just like take some time, right? So don't get discouraged. Like take some time, try to find, like things that make you happy and things that are not related to the job search. Go for a walk, talk to a friend, go like for ice cream, right? Like do like different things, like cook your favorite meal at home, like listen to some music, watch a TV show, right? Like the most popular ones like Friends, The Office, Modern Family, like How I Met Your Mother. Those are always so funny. When you watch, you forget about everything. So do something. Do not like fully, like always think about like finding a job and why you can find a job. A lot of times like we don't have control over like some things, so you just need to like trust the process. So definitely you will like find a job, just take some time.
Yeah, I love that you said that because I have had sometimes, some clients where you have these amazing conversations, they're feeling motivated, they're amped up, they're excited about their job search and what the future holds. And then, of course, you get a few rejections and you might feel discouraged, right? So, people always assume maybe you have family members or parents or whoever, they might say, oh, just apply for the job, and they think it's easy, but no one will understand exactly how much time and effort and energy goes into the process. So yeah, with those participants who are very engaged and active, they can go through burnout, right? You can go through a fatigue from consistently applying for jobs as well. So I think it's so great that you mentioned that, to kind of have that balance, practice self-care, look after yourself, because if you are not, the best version of yourself and you're not able to bring that to the interview, then it can be seen, right? It can be visible. So just take your breaks and be kind to yourself during this time. I received a question through direct message, and then I see that there's one in the general chat. So I'll just go ahead and read the direct message first. So it says, I'm looking for co-op positions at the moment, but it feels like an uphill battle from the most angles. Whatever limited vacancies are available, prefer university candidates, even though I have over 5 years of experience in the same trade. Can you give me some pointers that could help me orient myself? So, what is the field of work that you're aiming for? That will be a little bit helpful if you're able to um, provide that detail, just so that we could be a little bit more specific and tailored with our answer. But in terms of co-op, it depends also to when you're looking to start. So if you are looking to start next month, that's a little bit soon. I know that for September starts, these placements are sometimes secured during spring. So we want to be mindful of the start date as well for when you're looking to begin your placement and your co-op. When it comes to the vacancies that prefer university over 5 years, if it's a co-op, I don't believe that they may necessarily be seeking you to have that post-secondary, just because it's a co-op role. So if it's something where they're expecting you to already come with all of the certifications, then that's a little bit different. But if it's a co-op, they may not necessarily require that. And also too, one thing that I always am mindful of is when it comes to the requirements, that is like their ideal wish list. It's very rare to find a client who checks every single box. I don't check every single box. That when I'm looking, I don't check every single box at all. So that's when it comes down to the tailoring. Are you able to broadcast your skills, tailor your resume to show them that, even though I don't have this university degree specifically for this, this is everything else that I've come with, and this is the actual work experience that I'm able to bring to the table as a possible candidate. So I know you said that it's within project management. So again, there's so much opportunity when it comes to your resume for this to tailor. One thing I would really encourage is to try to quantify where possible on the resume. So if you're saying, if you're talking about a budget that you had, what exactly was that? How was it allocated? If there was any kind of new strategy that you implemented that led to an increase of something, try to have those numbers in there. So it definitely helps to paint a little bit more of an accurate picture to the employer, and it helps them understand the volume and scope of work that you were doing as well. Project management, I know there's lots of groups on LinkedIn for that too. So even just putting yourself out there, sending those invites, going on LinkedIn and typing in project management, going to people, seeing if you have any mutual connections with anyone, and start building out your connection in that way.
Okay, perfect. Who said, I'm surprised in Modern Family isn't offered in Netflix. On Netflix in Canada, I used to watch that series over and over again when I was in Hong Kong. Big fan. It was, but now it's on Disney. They just like keep like shifting.
Wow, I
So
didn't know that.
crazy. Yeah, it was on like Netflix. Everything was on Netflix. Friends, The Office, Modern
Yeah.
Family, Gossip Girl, and
Oh,
then
Gossip
like,
Girl, sure I do.
yeah, right. And then like all of this, like now Crave,
Oh,
The
no.
Office, Gossip Girl, and Friends. Then Disney has Modern Family and How I Met Your Mother. And
Yeah.
then like, yeah,
We need a job to pay for these subscriptions, maybe.
exactly. Oh
We
my
need a
goodness.
gig to
I
pay for
know. I
all of
know.
the
People are like they're like, oh, I'm not paying cable, but like cable is like now cheaper than all of this.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, and they're so like also, like you can share. And I'm like, if I'm paying like, and I'm asking for like 4 or 5 users, who like, why do you care if I'm sharing with like friends or like family? Like, it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, they're all raising their subscription fees. Like they do that all the time. And then we are just like, even though we complain, we say like, okay, we're gonna do it, like we'll pay. Because they have like good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? We have 6 minutes left. I know that we have a lot like during this session. We talked about like resumes, we talked about like networking and LinkedIn, and we answered some like industry specific questions. Do you have like any other questions? If you're getting interviews, that means that your resume, it's like it's doing the job. So just like keep applying, don't give up. Definitely you will find something. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about Kibi, right? So Kibi, it's this platform that I think you might have like access to if you have the Devant profile. So what they do is it's this platform where they have resources. They have you can create like a profile. There are employers that they post jobs. So I would definitely say like check it out, create a profile. You might find like like your next job on Kibi. So like it's really great. Like they're like I think it was created like a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely check it out, download it, create a profile, like check their resources, see their partners and employers. You might be able, like to get a job from Kibi, right? Or like find like, like connect with employers and like start that like like connection and networking. And I think we also want to talk about the coaching sessions. So Devant offers one-on-one career coaching, and you can go on the website and you can kind of like see the coaches and you can book sessions. They have a promo session now, $95 per hour. And with this hour, you will meet one-on-one with the coach. Tiffany and myself are coaches. We have like other coaches as well. So you can go and check this out. And then we can talk like in that hour, we can give you feedback about your resume. We can talk about networking. We can talk about LinkedIn job search strategies, like in all of that. Devant, also, if you have a profile, like if you have the paid subscription, if you have a profile with Devant, then you might get these services for free. So you need to check with your program coordinator or like career advisor, and they will provide you with more information. Okay. So if you have like the Devant profile and the paid version, this might be offered to you for free. So definitely check it out, see what is available there, and we will look forward to connect with you. All right. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, I just want to say we have 2 minutes left. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I really hope that this session was helpful to you and you will apply the advice that we, Tiffany and myself, provided. I really wish you like best of luck in your job search. I'm sure you're going to find something. And honestly, we would like to hear success stories. So hopefully like next time when you join, you will tell us about a great interview that you had, or maybe like you got an offer. So we're really rooting for you and, like wishing you best of luck. And then definitely check out the Devant's upcoming sessions. They have like really great sessions for August. Probably gonna post the ones for September. So Tiffany and myself like post like some of those like upcoming sessions. So we hope to see you again. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.